Okay, throughout history, God has always used the persecution of the church to advance the gospel. Now, do you remember when we were landing in Smyrna, I showed you the green circle? The green with the yellow circle around it? This is up close. These are the arches of the Forum in Smyrna. And what Jesus says in verse 10, Revelation 2:10, he said, do not fear, the most repeated negative prohibition, do not fear those things which you're about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful until death. I'm not going to give you a way out. There's not going to be the great escape. You are not going to get out. You're going to be apprehended. You're going to go to prison. Be faithful to death. And look at this. I will give you the crown of life. Well, you can read about this in church history. I'm not teaching church history this week, but it's a famous event. Polycarp, the pastor of this church, 86 years old. They brought him through here. This whole scene was playing out across the empire, but we have one snapshot from church history. And they would make them walk down this pathway right here, and all of them would walk through, and there'd be Roman soldiers, the city clerk, and there'd be a little flame and a little bowl, and a little person sitting after the bowl. And all you had to do, all the thousands of citizens would come through this line, walking like you're going through the dining hall line, and all you had to do is reach in your hand, get a pinch. You know, when you cook, you get a pinch of salt or a pinch of pepper or whatever. You just pinch that powder. And you would take, if this was the fire, the candle, you would take it and just rub your fingers together so that the powder would fall into the flame. And when it fell in the flame, it would puff and make smoke. It was incense, and it would just make smoke. And right behind the flame was a statue of Domitian. What you were doing is you were offering worship to Domitian as a god. People were really good at this. They just go like this, they go like this, they go like this, and they would hand them a little piece of paper. It was called libelli. It was a certificate of freedom for another year. You got your pass. You were a loyal citizen. Did you know if thousands of people are in line and everyone's just walking through and it's just a second, you go like this and go like this and like this, no one would see you from your church, from your neighborhood, what you did, except God. And what happened is the Christian said, I can't do that. I don't believe he's God, but just to save my life, I could go like this and do a little puff of smoke and get my certificate and go. And so Pastor Polycarp was his name. He comes up to the line and he says, 86 years have I served Christ, and I am not going to stop serving him now. And he wouldn't do it. Walked out. They dragged him to the marketplace right there. That's the Forum or the Agora. And they tied him to a stake, and they brought all the wood they could find, the Romans, and they burned him alive. And that's his testimony. He said, 86 years I've served the Lord. I'm not going to deny him today. And what an example he came to the church